have players who are good enough to overwhelm that.
Still going to be fairly hard against Gigantti, though. They are on the defense. They're rolling out with the 3-3. Not too much of a surprise with the Reinhardt. Not going floats, just normal goats.
And yeah, I can see why the Reinhardt would be pretty good here. You can just drop down onto the point and force people to brawl out with you there. Eternal Academy, if they roll out, oh no, not going to use the Reaper, but maybe going to use a Sombra.
It would make a lot of sense. Chow was finding some really, really nice EMPs, but it was just Team Gigantti's coordination and being able to leverage the speed boost plus the sound barrier as well. A lot of Lucios and Zenyatta's very good at hiding from these ultimates.
Going to be a couple of assaults as well. Going to go back to that classic 3 DPS composition we've come to expect. Question is, who is going to be Chow's hacking priority here? Of course, if Zappis gets hacked, that means that Zeal is a lot safer, because we often see Zappis is the one who goes on those missions, flying up in the sky to try and take out Zeal. But obviously, if you can take away Milky Man's availability of shielding, that means everyone else is going to be very much more vulnerable to incoming damage from multiple sources.
Ouch, that hurt a fair bit. That dynamite being thrown straight on top of the heads of Team Gigantti. Kenzie, you can see, already up to 40% charge. It does so much damage with the damage boost as well coming out from Mercy. Super Blue trying to play the distraction game in the back line. Zeal's going to take out Milky Man while the rest of Gigantti were actually looking towards the hamster that was rolling around.
Super Blue going to wait for one of those health packs to become free. Ooh. Lilbo assassinating.
Yeah, they end up trading, but of course, Askov is there with the res almost instantaneously. Now Kenzie's just taken over. No way Zappis is going to be able to hold up against Kenzie. Not without thrusters. No Matrix left either, and Zappe is just going to die on the point. And you know what happens on Assault, Harry. Super snowballing map, and they've got a couple of ults going online. You've got Bob, and 25% away from that EMP as well.
And Bob can, of course, capture a point. He does interact with objectives as if he was a player. So if you can get him on there, then it's quite hard to dislodge him. You'll have to use a couple of movement cooldowns to hope that you can get him off the point, at least so he's no longer contesting that. Kenzie now has it ready. Hit the shots that he needed to. And Milky Man getting a little bit aggressive here, but won't go past the doorway. May a bit of dynamite, not this time. Zeal's going to look for his point of ingress here. Needs to try and find a place where he can barrage safely. If he can pick up 2 people and get res, that will be a successful trade for Vizfara.
Look how sneaky Chow's being, but look how spread Gigantti are being right now. They need to do this, otherwise the EMP could catch at least 2 or 3 people and it could signal the end of the fight. The mines are going to get laid down on point and Chow is going to reveal himself, so he isn't going to be able to get that EMP off as easily, but Davin is already going to fall. And now they can leverage this ability for Zeal to just stay up in the air. Transcendence is being popped rather early from Zappe to keep Gigantti on the point. Zappis is getting hunted from the skies. Zeal doesn't even need to use the barrage to demech it.
Look at that, he was waiting for that defense matrix to come out, and now free!
Davin as well jumped onto the McCree, but says nope, straight back to spawn. Facility ends up getting destroyed as Eternal Academy are going to find a tick onto the point.
Zappe picking up 2 could be exactly what Gigantti needed here. You think you're playing DPS? No, I'm playing DPS. I'm the Zenyatta here, and he's got himself halfway to another Transcendence, which he used only about 20 seconds ago.
I think Eternal Academy needs to look at what Zappe was doing last week. We picked up on the fact that this guy's an absolute monster on Zen. He was carrying some of the fights, and he's doing that again this week.
And now Eternal Academy are like, nah, I ain't going to face up to that. We're going back over to the usual. Well, not the usual. It's almost 3-3. It's 3-2-1, because, of course, Chow does have that EMP, which can very much bring a fight into your favor when it comes to these 3-3 versus 3-3 matchups. He's going to be trying to get Zappis here, trying to get Lilbo. Lilbo needs to stay out of range of a CMP so we can layer on the sand barrier afterwards. Otherwise, the Overshield will be stripped away.
He's actually in top left right now in that small staircase, so he can come out with the sound barrier as soon as that EMP comes out. Eternal Academy are going to be able to kite back here. Milky Man jumped into the back line with Primal Rage, but an instant Discord Orb ended his life almost, well, instantly.
Maybe so. Zappa's going to let go of that self-destruct. No one going to be caught up in that particular fight. And now, Super Luke claiming over territory.
Yeah, Lilbo's actually revealed himself too. And a very early Transcendence as the rest of Team Gigantti were forced back off of the point. Another Transcendence is going to come through from Tri-Spear as he just leverages a little bit more space. Milky Man is going to go down, and Chow still holding on to that EMP. He's waiting for Lilbo to lay out that sound barrier in order to cancel the overshields completely.
He's playing chicken. He got the hack onto Lilbo. Can't lay down the sound barrier anyway. It's going to go off and potentially...
He got hacked pre-touching the point too, so he couldn't even lay it down, then instantly EMP'd. elongating the hack timing. No way you can use any abilities. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, they managed to cap the point.
And let's not forget, hack also disables passive buffs, Jaws. So that meant that not only was there no speed boost available for disengagements or healing available for his co-teammates, but also he couldn't wall ride his way over. And that's when Lucio's are most annoying when they're trying to contest a point. When you're like playing a little bit of a circle around one of those pillars, that can keep you contesting for a long time. It's very hard to hit the Lucios while they are doing that. But it also meant that he couldn't leverage the speed the wall ride gives you to get onto the point. He was far more slow. It was just like going in slow motion. He was going Baywatch style towards that point. And that was a perfect play there from Chow. What he was doing is he was holding EMP for so long, so he was like, go on, Lilbo. Sound barrier.
Just try me.
I dare you. But the perfect play there was to just get the hack on Lilbo so he couldn't use the sound barrier anyway. And then you'd be able to EMP. So that was really good foresight from Chow. Eternal Academy right now, they're showing Super Fluke on the Orisa. I'd love to see a little bit more of this. Allows Kenzie to be very safe behind that barrier and allows Zeal to continue leveraging this huge pool of projectile DPS he has at the ready.
Nice spam comp coming out from Eternal Academy, like you said. Zeal's going to be able to rain fire from above with those bombs. Plus, they have the Mercy for the damage boost. You can get so much charge from those that dynamite going off if it's damage boosted as well. And because they can imagine they're going to run into the 3-3, everybody's going to be in a nice little meatball. So that's going to hit at least 5 people.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful meatball. Going to be some nice Swedish cooking, I imagine.
You'd hope so. Or Finnish.
Some Finnish cooking. I wonder what their delicacies are. Don't they have that like fermented fish thing?
Yeah, Harry, you're asking the wrong person.
That's true. if you want to know about Korean cuisine, Jaws is your guy.
Yeah, not Finnish, unfortunately. Maybe if we ever take a trip to Finland, they can show us.
Still going to spam in for now. It's already a quarter of the way towards that Riptide, and there are very few members of Team Gigantti who could reliably destroy that Riptide, because of course they don't have the Zenyatta. Kenzie getting a little bit frisky right here. Will not hit the dynamite, so it won't explode onto all the people, but Milky Man has now lost the entirety of his shield, Jaws.
Almost instantly taken out. And that's that damage boost coming through from Zeal, and even the Orisa firing in too.
And it looks like for now, Superluke's waiting to put down his shield, wants to see where Team Gigantti goes. This is very intelligent, but now, because the shield's been put down, Gigantti can make a rotation elsewhere. They're actually just going to run headlong into it.
Yeah, actually, they're going to destroy that trap walking over it. I believe that was Zappos actually just using those thrusters to kill it. Didn't manage to get trapped up. Kenzie is going to find Little Bo, so no speed boost, no AoE healing, but Zeal is also going to get killed as well. Remember, they still have that Mercy, so the res did come through from Askoff, but they have got the high ground, but they're just letting Gigantti just capture the point. A Graviton Surge actually gets thrown in by Davin as well, and they've already acquired 2 ticks. Super Blue's going to fall, so they can't hide behind anything either now. Zeal is also going to go down. Team Gigantti brute forcing their way onto the point, almost ignoring the people on the high ground. They have Zuppe with the Moira, no Zenyatta to be found, so they can just lay down even more healing than a Zen can acquire.
It looked like the play there was to try and rush forward onto Superfluke, leave him low, so that it was demanding a huge amount of healing as well as pressuring a lot of other people, and then rotate onto the point. So Superfluke was a little bit too scared to move onto the point because he would have been so easily overrun by the Team Gigantti 3-3. And now they have 6 minutes and 20 seconds to try and take some of this second point. If they can do it within 2 minutes, they will have a larger time bank than Eternal Academy, but I imagine the next fight could well be ended very quickly by Zeal. Look at him, he's up on there. It's going to be very hard to challenge out. It's going to be down to Zappos to try and dislodge him from that area, so Riptide comes out.
Riptide coming in. He's only got 100 HP, already down about half, going straight for the main tank.
See you later.
Picks up the kill on Milky Man. That's just going to end the fight rather quickly. He was forced out of position too. You could see Super Blue just walking in between him and the team. And if he puts down a bubble, that's a lot of healing that can't reach him as well. And
that was so much a destined kill there onto Milky Man. We actually saw him give him the Discord Orb so that he would have taken so much damage. I think that would have taken 780 damage at its maximum potential damage output, which is a lot more health than Reinhardt has. That's a lot to try and deal with. You can see Chow trying to lock down his points of ingress. Will try and isolate Zappos here.
They're going to use that Coalescence to begin the engagement. The Shadow does hit the 4, but what a block. That's what you want from your Zen player, protecting the other team in the Transcendence. Bomb does come out, doesn't find anything, and Zeal is going to get the res. There is going to be a Graviton Surge using the backline from Team Gigantti as well, and Tri-Spear falls as well also. Facility is going to find himself 2 kills as they cement themselves on the point. They still have 5 minutes to play with, and Eternal Academy are going to go all the way back to spawn. Going to have to find a fast, quick regroup in order to touch again. 2 ticks have been acquired, and the 3rd as well. As soon as they started capping, they didn't want to stop. They managed to halt the defense of Eternal Academy. They net themselves a rather nice time bank, and ever so slightly more than Eternal.
Even with Godspear's 3D underwater 500 IQ Mahjong play there, blocking the charge onto Askoff. But it was just so much to come after that. They knew that with Tri-Spear having used that Transcendence blocking the incoming charge, it did mean that it was not available to try and deal with Davin and the Graviton Surge, and there was so much damage coming in that Eternal Academy just couldn't sustain through that. And they didn't have a consistent shield to try and stand up to the pressure that Team Gigantti were giving to him, because Pollitt was playing on the Winston instead. So now Eternal Academy, the onus once more falls upon them. It's like we never started Jaws. Everyone's still over 4 minutes, even if it's only by a second. But Eternal Academy, with their shorter time bank, will have to enjoy some peanut butter before moving out onto Horizon to come.
If a jar of peanut butter was floating through space like that, if it was glass, I don't know if it would be different for plastic, but would it shatter?
Probably.
We'll never know.
Like, it looks like plastic to me.
Do you reckon Elon Musk, when he sent that car into space, put a jar of peanut butter on the seat? Just to find out?
I don't know.
He should have done.
Like maybe if a mannequin just loves peanut butter in Elon's head cannon.
Maybe. It's canon. All right. Eternal Academy on the offense. Gigantti on the defense. Look at where they're playing right now. Don't really want to reveal anything just yet. They want Eternal Academy to potentially take the high ground first and then speed on them.
Where's Milky Man, though?
I don't know.
Milky Man, where
there he is.
Oh, he's up on his own.
It seems like he's baiting
side.
them out. Well, not really much of a bait now, as the rest of Gigantti are going to reveal themselves.
Could be isolated if Chow decides to try and go for a hack onto him. Davin's going to wait a little bit here, but look how well he's playing the angles and showing that if Zeal wants to get some rockets up onto him, he has to reveal himself to a huge amount of fire, especially from Zuppe. And now Davin's going to play a little bit more risky. Has a personal barrier to defend himself, but he's going to pay for his transgressions.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage. I think Davin hit a direct hit as well.
The mortars, they hurt.
The mortars, they do hurt. Especially if you're near 100 charge, which he probably will be, as there's so much spam coming in. You can see Eternal Academy already actually touching the point here. Kenzie has taken up his usual position on the low ground, just punishing the shield of Milky Man.
Milky Man has already lost his shield. It's going to be Facility rotating in now with his personal barrier for that frontline pressure.
Uh-oh. Davin's already going to fall. Kenzie's Dynamite did get eating, but look, he's already building up so fast towards Bob. Zappis' mech is also going to fall, but a downtown pin from Milky Man actually takes out Askov.
He's got something in for Askov when it comes to these charges. Superloop will land that pile driver and they will secure their first tick. Jaws, Milky Man's shield is going incredibly low as Zeal tries to build up towards that barrage. It could be what seals the fate of Gigantti on point A.
Okay, Trispear has found a kill as well, and now Bob is available, plus those mines. Chow is going to fall to Zuppe, and Davin jumping back onto his signature Tracer. I haven't seen that one in a while, not being played fully out on a map anyway, and takes out Trispear.
Oh, bring out your Illidan's, boys, because Davin, you are not prepared for him to return to the glory of Tracer. Zeal can actually kill him with one shot if he has a damage-boosted rocket, but Davin, he's got the evasion down pat. He knows exactly what pathing he was taking on to Trispear there. You can unequip your Illidan player logos now. You are once again prepared for Davin on his main, on the Tracer.
65% towards that pulse bomb as well, but they got to watch out. Eternal Academy have got that EMP, they got the barrage, and they got Bob. They're ready to rock and roll. Chow looking for a mode of ingress. Is going to find the hack onto Milky Man. His Translocator is going to get destroyed in this, so he's not going to have an avenue of escape, but he should be okay for the time being. Now throwing another one back to make sure he can get out of dodge rather fast.
Good scouting there from Davin, managing to flank around, take out that Translocator, and ensuring Chow cannot get a little bit more risky and play a little bit more bravely. Kenzie going to shove out the Bob. It'll be on the middle of the point. This is a perfect position for him.
It's going to destroy Milky Man's shield as well. It's going to focus on it rather heavily. Trispear actually takes out Davin in the back line with the help of the Zenyatta too.
Oh, see Zeal.
Well, Zeal's instantly dead. There's the Shadow straight on top of Chow. I can't use that Translocator anymore. That pin, that didn't connect, but he did end up going down regardless. Milky Man falls eventually as Chow does manage to find the kill, just with the SMG, the normal fire. And that'll be Eternal Academy finally capping the point, but only 1 minute remains for them to push on to second.
It's more of a rarity to see the Pharah kill themselves on a Reinhardt shield instead of on a D.Va mech, but I can assure you as a Reinhardt main, it's one of the most satisfying ways to kill anyone in this game ever, especially when you spend your entire life just looking up at her in the sky like, what can I do? What am I going to do here? Throw out a fire strike? Well, Eternal Academy are going to throw out an EMP at some point in this fight. They do move straight over to that 3-2-1 composition once again with Chow on the Sombra still. Milky Man's going to be the primary target here, maybe getting an early
There's the EMP. There's the self-destruct as well, but Milky Man's already dead. They're going to trade 1 for 1 as Zeal ends up falling as well. Superblue dodging behind the pillar to save himself and his health bar as he does get sent extraordinarily low as the Discord orb was on top of him. Askov is going to fall too. Eternal Academy have really only got 1 fight after this, Harry. 40 seconds are going to remain before they can regroup. Kenzie has almost got charge enough for the Graviton Surge, but Davin isn't far behind him.
And Shalva actually made a very interesting play after he used the EMP. He actually stealthed up again and went after Lil Lilbo so that he could re-hack after the 6-second hack had elapsed. So there was 12 seconds where Lilbo was like, what am I doing, guys? I've got a Sound Blaster and I've got nothing else. Could not use that Sound Barrier to save his team, but because Team Gigantti weren't able to use that ultimate, that's now available for the newest push coming through from Eternal Academy, and Chao's going to have to be so careful to try and make sure that he can once again control Lilbo, because Lilbo's the main target of the Sombra right now, keeping that hack, keeping that containment, ensuring that the speed of the barrier cannot be used.
But they have 2 support ultimates to rely on now. Speaking of support ults, Tri-Spear is going to throw in that Transcendence. They're going to be able to touch the point, at least trigger overtime. Askoff is being a bit of a pain in the backside as the Graviton Surge comes in for Team Gigantti. It locks 3 people up, and that Shadow's going to lock even more. Milky Man finds a double kill. 2 support ult, Victory, Transcendence, and Sound Barrier. Not victory just yet, of course, but they still managed to hold on second point.
Speaking of victory, Jaws, let's set the scene for what everyone can expect in the coming fight. No percentage was captured by the side of Eternal Academy, and currently Gigantti sit on match point. That means if Gigantti can capture the first point, regardless of what they do on second, they will have won the series, because the largest potential scoreline that could be achieved for Eternal Academy would be 2-1. So here, Eternal Academy, their entire series, Jaws, rests on a 5-minute hold of point A. And after that, they still have to win Escort, and they still have to win the tiebreaker as well. The reverse sweep has got incredibly difficult for the Paris Eternal Academy team.
That's a heck of a mouthful of words, Harry.
That's a lot of words.
That's a lot of words. Paris Eternal Academy, exactly the same thing. They're on the defense. Like you said, 5 minutes to defend. They don't really get their choice of comp either. They can't go back to spawn and change up. So really does leave Team Gigantti in a nice position where, again, they can either speculate that Eternal Academy are going to run the same sort of comp, which they are, which of course we know. But Team Gigantti, if they spot anything different, or if they want to change anything up, they can just run back briefly to spawn, change. It will take maximum 30, 40 seconds, and then they can go again. Remember, they got 4 minutes and 57 seconds to work with. They could just go in with a 6 ult push.
They can speculate and then accumulate those ultimates and accumulate that ultimate charge as well, especially if you move in with 6 ultimates and Davin at high energy, you're going to be incredibly difficult to stop. So what I want to really look at here is how Superpluke handles his movement, because Team Gigantti, he was very good before not using his shield until he had to. He was making sure that Team Gigantti would commit to a push before he laid down that shield, but it also meant that he could be brought very low and forced to not move onto the point.
Davin's a little bit more wise to the Junkrat mine and trap trick on the corner. It's very hard to see.
It's a lot of energy already for Davin.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Zeal is going to build up towards that Riptire rather quickly, though. Damage boost, of course, and those mines being thrown out left, right, and center. Another trap does land on the stairs, so anybody from Gigantti can get caught if they're not careful.
And you can see that Superpluke now lays down the shield.
That's a lot of damage, a lot of incoming fire from Zeal. 80% already to the Riptire. He needs to make it stick. Remember,
first tick.
1 tick, now 2 ticks remain for at least, well, a maximum of a draw to come about for Eternal Academy. Chao's mech is going to get destroyed, and only 10% now remains. Davin and Milky Man are going to find kills, and the rest of Eternal Academy had to jump onto the points. Tri-Spear is going to go down as Milky Man finds 3, and 4 minutes now stands in between Team Gigantti and taking this second point.
Well, Team Gigantti are going to be trying to claim the entire series. Here comes a Riptire and a Pile Driver as well, but it's falling incredibly low already is Chao.
33% is all that they need. Zeal's Riptire is going to get destroyed instantly. Davin at 100% charge is going to make mincemeat of it. Riley's coming out from facility as well. Askoff is already dead, and now it's just stall heroes for Eternal Academy. Milky Man finds himself another triple kill, and Zeal even on the Bastion. There will be a Transcendence on the point from Tri-Spear, but he is one Zenyatta versus the world. Team Gigantti caps second and find the series 3-0.
The idea there for Eternal Academy had to be, let's get Kenzie to earn himself a bob so that he can go in and contest for us, because you can see Superpluke, he didn't want to go down there. There's so much danger for an arrestor down there. It's not safe for the Omnics on these moonlit streets. That much is for certain. But because the rotation was so late, because it wasn't made as a team, Superpluke just sort of like came in by himself. Hey guys, I'm just going to contest the point. Don't mind if no, they mind. They really mind. 3-0 for Gigantti. We'll be claiming the series, of course. And as we move on to Escort, have to see if they can get that wonderful 4-0.
We'll have to wait and see. Escort, it will be the next map, Harry. The next map is Route 66, I believe. I actually forgot. We're going to go to a break while I find out what it actually is. We'll see you guys in a minute. Hey guys, welcome back. Map number 4 on your screens very soon. 3-0 though for Team Gigantti against Eternal Academy. It's been quite...
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Well, I was hoping no one would bring it up. It's Watchpoint. It's not...
They're vaguely similar orange colours. Maybe you just saw the orange. You're like,
genuinely,
oh, that's Route 66.
That's what I thought. My memory is very bad, and I remember seeing rocks, and I thought, Route 66 is not.
Well, I'm excited for Watchpoint Gibraltar, Jules, because it means two things in my mind. It means Kenzie's Widow and Milky Man's Winston. And Milky Man's Winston I found incredibly impressive over the course of this series, as we've discussed at quite extortionate length before. And Kenzie's Widow, one of the better heroes in his pool, and he's one of the better Widow makers over basically all of our seasons of Overwatch Contenders, basically rivaled by maybe Asking previously on Snakes.
Asking, way fast, Flippy. A lot of good
Flippy. You
Willows
cannot forget about Flippy.
No one can. No one can forget about the Widowmaker playback from Season 1 of 2018.
Back in March, a year ago today.
That was a good time.
Was one of our first broadcasts, I believe.
It was. It was one of our first big broadcasts.
British Hurricane versus Singularity. And Obling played there.
Good. He did. And he's playing a little bit later on.
Yeah, you'll see a little bit more of him. Blast from the past, but now we'll drag you in to the present or potentially like 60 years in the future. As Team Gigantti look to try and get that perfect set, and Eternal Academy want to try and turn this around, get a couple more map points in their favor, and show that their more ingenious strategies have a lot more merit to them. And I've got to admit, Horizon and Colony was a lot closer than I expected, even though the scoreline did end up only being like 4-3. And there was quite a bit of a time bank for Team Gigantti. They had some quite ingenious ideas of how to attack.
Not only that, and how to defend too. I really like the spam comp. The Ash with the Junkrat, if it does get rolling, you can only just have a Riptide almost every single fight. They are going to run out with the kind of same comp, although Chow is on the Bastion. They're expecting Team Gigantti to actually hold the cart, and that's exactly what they are doing.
Well, they're going to be very vulnerable to the 450 DPS that Sentry Cannon can bring. Look at how quickly Zuppy had to get out of dodge there. And Milky Man's shield.
Oh, it's not dead.
Why are you walking out here, my dude? Not like this.
Oh, well, Zapdos' Mega's going to go down as well. Yep. Chow's just having a little bit of a field day. He's not going to... I mean, he gains, what, like 60% almost ult charge? I'm kind of curious if he stays on this. They don't have a shield tank, really. So I'm assuming Eternal Academy are just going to make everybody play Distraction on the Bastion if they do manage to get it on cart.
I guess I'll play more of a mobile Bastion instead of playing him on cart, because while the cart does give some healing and will mean that he can get quite a bit of healing while using that self-heal as well, it would be much better if he tries to come in from unexpected angles. Look, he's up on the high ground right now. We're going to wait for Superluke to hit one of those pile drivers, and while they're up in the air, that will be Chow's moment to strike right there.
92% too. Almost at tank configuration form. Uh-oh, Super Fluke has mines as well. A lot of explosions about to happen very, very quickly. But look at the cart. Really odd position for the payload to be in right now, because Team Gigantti could just wait for people to run at them. The tire's going to get unleashed, and it has to find at least somebody. It almost finds Zapdos' mech, but it's only saved at the very last moment by an armor pack.
Chow being a little bit more brazen here. He knows if people aggress upon him, he can move into that tank form. He's actually going to try and go for a bit of a steeper angle here. This is where he could potentially be charged out by Milky Man.
He's inching forward, just trying to find the semblance of some ground. He's going to use that tank form as well to get a bit of height. He's going to go down rather low, though, as Davin just tearing him apart, really. And now they can potentially go in for this all-in engage. A Transcendence is getting used by Tri-Spear, but that shield is blocking most of the healing from the outside. Chow still pummeling people, but the card's just not moving. Finally, he finds a kill. Zapdos is going to go down as well, and the Graviton Surge is going to get thrown in by Team Gigantti as they try and clutch onto this payload. They eventually go down, but what a fantastic hold on the low ground.
This 3-3 has so much health and so much healing that they give over a huge amount of ult charge. Just going to be dancing over.
There we go. That was nice.
Executed.
Zapdos
do not mess with Kenzie.
There's no way they're going to be able to go out to car. Well, they might do. They've got speed boost, but that was a nasty stagger on Zapdos. And look at the ults that Eternal Academy have got again. They've got mice. They've even got tank form.
Yeah, Chow's ready to go once again. He's going to have to find himself a high ground position to play from right here. And here, Eternal Academy have to make sure they do not abandon the cart again. It's going to be an opening Riptide. Oh, Milky Man! That's what I'm talking about.
What? Okay, nice aim. There we go. Chow's on the back side, though. You've got to be a little bit more careful. You've got Facility running at you in brick form. He's extremely low too, can't play aggro, but firing those long-range tank shots is doing a lot of damage to Boogeyman's shield. Zappis gets a self-destruct kill in Zeal, but look at how much coverage and range and how many angles Eternal Academy are actually looking at. Team Gigantti can't find anywhere to actually look to protect themselves on the payload.
They got a touch point right now. It's so close, and that will be the completion. Bob was put to sleep there with a good sleep dart coming through from Zuppe, evidently wanting to use those sightlines where Chow didn't have any protection to get a sleep there, or Bob, who would not be able to move to get a sleep there. Those are two very high probability sleeps that Zuppe can be betting on, and of course does have ready to go. Ooh, we see Facility on to the Tracer, not the usual Tracer player for Team Gigantti, well, to see if he can hold up a candle to Davin.
Oh dear. Super tried to pile drive to stop the incoming damage, maybe trying to body block just a little bit, and Davin finds the kill onto not only the Bastion, he finds 3 kills onto Tri-Spit and Zeal as well. Now Team Gigantti clutching onto the payload. Chow switching over. He's had his fun on the Bastion. They did manage to cap the first point, but Team Gigantti, they got an ult advantage, and they've been cycling ults rather well as well. Because they've been sticking on this comp for a long time, Harry, does mean they can get that cyclical ult generation like you always talk about. They got the grab, Milky Man changing over to the Reinhardt now.
And Milky Man can just swing into that Graviton. If there are 6 members in there, he's going to get that bloody fast, Jaws. Davin looking for his point of ingress here. Chow can, of course, eat that Graviton Surge if he gets the read on to the Zarya. For now, does look like Davin's just going to play a little bit more cautiously, allow the space for Eternal Academy to move forward with the cart, and now it's going to be a play around the corner. Superpluke falling low with the shield already.
Davin's got grab. I want to see if he wants to use it here, because they already managed to kill off Askov. Superpluke is going to go down, and they don't use the grab. They just earn themselves a self-destruct as well, so they can use that to combo next fight. 2 minutes remain for Eternal Academy in their time bank.
See, I love how audacious Davin's getting here. He knows, that Eternal Academy knows that he has the Graviton Surge. That means when he walks forward like that, straight into Superpluke, Chow's going to be giving him the defense matrix, thinking, okay, I'm going to eat the grab, because he's getting aggressive. He's telegraphing this grab coming in, but that means he doesn't have the fusion cannons firing in to Davin, who's going to take so much damage from those shotgun-like weapons, and that means that he can survive for a little bit longer while being able to make those pushes. He's just playing chicken with Chow.
Grab's going to get launched in. You got to eat it. It's your only hope, really. They got that self-destruct to combo with it as well. Milky Man going low, so is Superpluke. They're playing the corner here so they can just manage their shield timings. But once again, we see Askov finding the perfect boop on Milky Man to send him into the rest of Eternal Academy and finding the kill.
Lilbo attempted the same thing, but there wasn't really a team there to back him up. He was just like, Superpluke looked around like, am I a joke to you?
Yes.
What are you doing? Team Gigantti do have a lot of ultimates, however, ready to go for this next fight. They've almost got 6 in there, Jaws. Chow's going to have one heck of a self-destruct if he wants to win this fight out, but potentially you can play the economy here. You do have time for 2 fights with 50 seconds left for Eternal Academy.
They got the shadow as well. Superpluke going extremely aggressive because it instantly shattered. Askov trying to play the peel game as he boops the rest of Team Gigantti away from him. A rally is going off by Facility, but look at that. A bomb landing straight on top of that grab. Facility's going to find one. Zappis another on Chow. Chow finds a little bit of comeuppance in Davin falling, but look at Transcendence goes off at the perfect timing for Team Gigantti to subvert all the damage from Kenzie's Graviton Surge.
I do not agree with that Graviton Surge right there, Jaws. Maybe they're going to be able to bring people off the car, but there's only 19 seconds left. 2 of them on the car. I'm throwing a lot of numbers at you, but right now the chance of winning this fight is 0.
2 meters remain. Zeal ends up going down as well. Someone's going to have to make the miracle touch and the miracle play to pull this one back, but their ult bank is completely dry, Harry, and Team Gigantti still have the sound barrier.
Zeal has moved over onto the Doomfist, wants to get back quick time right now when Askov almost has no sound barrier available.
They triggered overtime, and that's what's important. Lilbo still has got his to rely on. The Doomfist is coming on in, but Zeal has to get out of there real fast. Jumps straight into Milky Man's face. A grab has been used on the payload, but instantly you see the barrier coming out. Chow gets demeched and didn't have self-destruct to follow up on it. Zappis has got one of his own though. Zeal's in the corner, about 2 HP remaining. Milky Man gets slept, but it's all over for Eternal Academy. The solo beat from Askov to try and buy some more time, but Team Gigantti are going to halt Eternal Academy just before that second point.
I don't know how Kenzie got another Graviton Surge, because I questioned his previous one, but I guess it doesn't matter if he's got another one for the fight that's like 20 seconds later. How did that even happen? I don't know, but all that I do know is that Lilbo managed to answer that perfectly with the sound barrier. Askov there getting a little bit too aggressive, trying to trigger that overtime. It was sort of the onus was on the Lucio every time, right? When you're in the final seconds before overtime, you go like, okay, Lucio, go wall ride over there, trigger overtime, we'll catch up in a little bit. And because of that, Askov could not stay alive with that 95% charge he had towards the sound barrier, but could have potentially kept Eternal Academy in the fight using the 750 overshield that it provides. And now Team Gigantti have a very clear win condition here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. 1 point completed, 79.37 meters will net them their 4-0 and ensure that they have not yet dropped a map moving into week 3 of Overwatch Contenders.
Feeling pretty good if you're Team Gigantti. Eternal, they're going to have to change something up. They're having a double sniper being hovered over. They are going to walk out with it as well. No
I think this is a good idea.
Kenzie on the Widow. Zeal's going to be on the Hanzo.
And here it's going to be all about what kind of crossfires they can set up. There needs to be very clean communication between Kenzie and between Zeal to ensure that the angles are always being exploited. You can see right now Milky Man just hovering over that Widowmaker in response so that he can zoom in through that semi-transparent, or as it's called in scientific terms, translucent window, having a little scout of where everyone is. We'll have to see if anyone from Eternal Academy has been so audacious as to reveal themselves like Zeal has just now.
They're running Bastion. Facility wants to give Chow a taste of his own medicine. They're also running double shield tank as well. They're going to form a nice little egg shape on the payload to make sure Facility cannot get touched. And then he also has Zuppe to back him up. Littlebow is going to go fairly low, but Facility more than safe as he had a nade landed on top of him. Superpluke is going to find a kill in Zuppe, so there's not really much healing for the Bastion really to rely on now. Milky Man is also going to fall. A res is going to come through on Superpluke as well. How was it going to work out? Not when the main healer goes down first. Facility and Davin go flying as well. Team Gigantti swap it up potentially. There you go. They're going to go 3-3. They're going to go with the Moira and the Winston instead of the Reinhardt.
Good job from Superpluke there to take out Zuppe. That was one of the main ingredients of that composition. Otherwise, a crossfire never could have broken through those two shields. There just isn't enough pressure on one side while you have that crossfire going on to break through. Milky Man going to get a little bit aggressive here, claim the space, ensure there's no free peeking here for Zeal, who does have a Dragon Strike ready to go.
Kenzie does have the hook to get that one. No worries. No main tank is going to land on my face. And Milky Man actually chasing really low. Double kill with the leap. Askov and Superpluke are going to go down. He does get punished, but already they are at a man advantage. Eternal Academy just retreating for now. They have to make these points last. They have to make these fights last even. They've only got a little bit of time, a little bit of space to give up now. Nice
little second there from Zuppe using the fade away to actually cancel the incoming Venom Mine of Kenzie, who does have the Infrasights ready to go. Tries to be kind of a very effective peek here. Will not claim much, however, as we do see Superpluke move on to the car.
Superpluke has got the Primal Rage. He can't go down as quickly as he did before. Kenzie is going to fall, though. Askov even using that ultimate to give his team a whole lot of healing and damage boost. A beat is going to get met by the with the Transcendence as Eternal Academy do sit on the payload. A self-destruct launched up into the edge to try and buy some more time, but Davin already had the personal shield on him to absorb all of that damage and turn it into energy. Almost got a Graviton Surge online as well, and Zuppe with the Coalescence forces the rest of Eternal Academy back. They all go down. A team kill for Team Gigantti, and 4 minutes and 25 seconds remain for them to push on to the second point.
What's the old saying, Jaws? Cool fins don't look at explosions or something like that. Davin definitely didn't need to do that. Will he have a personal barrier available? Zeal will be staggered out. Question is, will he stay on the Hanzo? Does have a Dragon Strike ready, but it does seem like Team Gigantti are very good at avoiding those. Very little efficacy from Zeal's previous ultimate in this case. And now Chow moving over on to, well, back to really for Bastion. We've seen quite a bit of Bastion over the course of this particular map. Kenzie going to try and duel out here with Milky Man. It's falling incredibly low. Needs that burst healing from Zuppe, but that's what Vienna's here for, Jaws.
You got the grab, though. I've got to be scared of Davin right now if I was Chow. If you get caught in that, you are as good as dead. Zuppe going down, though, is a good start. Chow falls also, though, and that's their main source of damage. Zeal already used that Dragon Strike. They've got to be a little bit more careful than that. A Graviton Sword just launched straight upwards. As perfect tracking from Davin finds Askov. A double kill for Zappos as well, and eliminates both DPS. Chow tries to get back onto the payload, but Facility brims him a swift death. A Transcendence is going to get used by Eternal Academy to try and touch the point. Zeal back on the Doomfist, but I think it's too little too late. Only a couple of meters remain, and Team Gigantti continue their undefeated streak in Season 1.
That combo was so blasé, it was so clean, and now Gigantti, Giga Chads of Overwatch Contenders Europe, that much is for certain. I loved how Davin was just like, oh, look up there. Is that two snipers? Or boom, see ya.
And then instantly tracked Askov through there, who was flying towards the grab, by the way. He was like, I will say, oh, well, there's a grab there.
I'm helping.
No. He did find the res, but then as soon as you're doing that, no healing's going to your team, and then you're pretty much as good as dead. 4-0 for Team Gigantti, though. What an impressive showing already. And I did kind of want to see, and it's something we talked about in the very first map of the day, was a little bit more DPS proficiency from Paris Eternal. We wanted to see them on heroes that were not really as coordinated. We don't need as much coordination as 3-3. And it's something we did see. We saw Chow on the Sombra. We also see a little bit of Pharah as well from Zeal. And it requires a lot less like, okay, we need to plan a little few steps ahead how we're going to use our support ults. But it was very much them relying on their individual aim and prowess on the heroes, just earning ults so quickly as well. Chow, record times on the EMP, and even Kenzie as well. Perfect aim on the Ashe.
And especially going up against that many sources of damage, I've got to give credit to Zuppe. Look, here he is getting that early double kill, which did actually secure the entirety of Horizon Lunar Colony, in my opinion, for the side of Gigantti, because if he hadn't got that double kill, it would have been a much larger time bank for the side of Eternal Academy. So I think Zuppe... Oh, that's what actually happened to Ascoft. That's going to be awkward in team chat later.
Yeah, I don't think Zeal wanted that replay to be shown.
Don't show this.
Please, no.
That's proof Friendly Fire is actually coded into Overwatch.
Chow with the Bastion, though, was pretty spectacular, especially on the when they were on the offensive side. It was kind of not. It wasn't frustrating to watch it, but like you can imagine that comp being played in Silicon. You're like, how is the Bastion winning this? We got 3-3. We could just dogpile on top of him, but Gigantti were forced into the small chokehold that is that mega health pack room under the bridge. And they really couldn't get out. They couldn't get anywhere. It only took a couple of picks, actually, from them to actually force their way out in the end of it. But Chow was just such a menace on the pick.
It was. Once again, I'm going to give a bit of credit over to Gigantti. Davin was so impressive over the course of these few matches. His tracking, obviously, incredibly good, coming over from the stable of Tracer mains from the earlier ages of Overwatch competitive, very much having a good time transferring that over to Zarya. And it's definitely been a huge service to Milky Man how these bubbles are coming through and protecting, because you've got so much damage to deal with. That means Milky Man needs so much more support to survive through that. And it's being given in spades by Zappis and Davin.
We'll see if they can continue their undefeated streak. Both 4-0s in week 1 and number 2. They are champions after all. And they've got to say, they are probably one of the favorites coming into the season. Eternal Academy still need to find their feet, their identity, which is something we talked about earlier. Yeah, that's going to be down to their head coach, Swoosh, to try and figure out what are we going to do in the coming weeks. But of course, they did have what we would argue is one of the most horrific starts to a season, not for their performance, but for who they were going up against. Going up against Morning Stars and Gigantti is not exactly the triumphant opening you would look for. So when you look at Eternal Academy, I wouldn't really base your assumptions as a viewer of their power level on these last 2 matches, because not only have they not been together for a huge amount of time against veteran teams like Morning Stars and Gigantti, but also they've been against the 2 hardest teams. Morning Stars are looking so scary too. You've got to think about who they added to the roster. That's hardest. He was a spectacular Zarya and always has been, and it seems like a perfect addition for that roster. So like you said, 2 of the titans of EU, and that's your first matches in the first 2 weeks. It's like, give us a little bit of a break, please.
Cut us some slack.
Please do. They've also got to face Hurricane later on in the season as well, so that will again be another tough matchup for them, but they would have had a lot more time to actually synergize together and go over some of these VODs and maybe make some few changes. I mean, I like the Bastion comp. I really did. It really did seem to catch Gigantti off guard.
Yeah, and they also have unlocked the buff of having both Morning Stars and Gigantti as open scrim partners, because of course you don't have to worry about showing strats. Now that you've played against both the teams, it doesn't really matter anymore until playoff time, so you can easily be scrimming all those guys all day long, and if you're scrimming Gigantti and Morning Stars, you are going to get a lot better, a lot faster. So not being able to scrim those guys, I imagine, when they saw the schedule coming out, was actually a little bit of a detriment to Eternal Academy, but now that has once again been unlocked and will be a huge boon to the Paris Eternal Academy squad.
Yeah, they'll definitely be relying a lot on Swoosh as well. Remember, he did come from Gigantti last season around. He was under Sato, who is pretty much the king when it comes to coaching tanks, and now he's, of course, on Paris Eternal. We are going to have a short interview very soon, guys. Don't you worry. We're going to jump to a quick break, though. We'll see you in a sec.